can continue.
Yes.
Okay, so the width, I'm saying the width you need to weigh here.
The first recommendation I want to make is what we have at the bottom down there, right? Soil test.
Soil test.
It's
You
a bit
should
too
not
late, you know.
plant.
Agree.
You should not plant not knowing the condition of your soil, meaning what's in your soil, right? Tolerate the conditions of your soil.
Well,
Right, so
is that kind of service available?
yes it is. The Ministry of Agriculture provides that service. I'm proud to say that.
So
At Union. At Union.
if I go
You can
one
do your soil
above the
sample.
soil test, only one thing I'll do above the soil test, before the soil test, infrastructure.
Yes, without a
Right?
doubt.
So we need, in terms of the roads to get to the farm, it's critical.
Yeah.
In terms of the drainage that you put on the
The
farm,
main drain.
where you are, that's critical. And it comes to the soil test, even if you do no test. I just took this out there, squeeze it up,
Yeah.
and by the time I come out here, it's so hard, so tough.
Yeah.
That can kill a man if you hit him.
That's right. And the basic message, when you break it, you don't see no life, you don't feel no life. So this lacks organic matter.
No.
So we're not helping our soils. We are raping our soils. Right? The truth is, and the Bible tells you, we prayed this morning, right?
Yeah.
How long should we rest the soil before we plant a crop on it? And
Now,
we have been using it.
I know you farm for 6 years and you rest it, allow it to rest for 1 year. Just like we work for 6 days and we rest on the 7th.
So it is important, and that is part of your farm planning. So you know where your drains are, you know where the crops are, and but we have gotten greedy. We want to farm up everything one time. So there's no planning, there's no crop rotation in the plan. So we need to have crop rotation plan. So we're not following root crops after root crops, cabbage after cabbage. And the reason I collected more than one sample is I don't care the quality extension staff you have. If this farmer loses the cabbage, they want something to bounce back on. So this farmer not hearing you 100% when you come only to talk to them about cabbage. They have other things. You look at the peppers in the house are dead or dying. They will not make it. She'll not get any money from that. My suspicion, bacterial problems. And so my friend, if you look inside here, they teach us about phloem and xylem when we were going to school. One carries the food up and one carries the food down to feed the roots. These vessels are blocked. And if you want to know if it's a bacteria, you get a little clean water. And you dip it in the water, leave it, shake it around, and once it gets cloudy, you know you have a bacterial problem. And if it's a bacterial problem, you might need to S the spot. But that's one of the reasons why you need to rest the land and don't plant continuously. Another major observation, the number of weeds. A non-chemical method or a combination could make the difference. It's very difficult to go and control weeds when the crop is already in the field. This is back-breaking work. It's hard. I would encourage farmers, whether it's under the protected structure in terms of the high tunnel or in the open field, to starve weeds. Look at weeds as having a bank account. How they put more money in the weed bank? By flooring, by seeding.
Yes.
It is climate smart agriculture to fight that. Do not allow the weeds to seed. Once the weed seed is putting more money in the bank. You have some weeds, you plow the land up, you kill the weeds, and you see more weeds growing. So I'm saying, take that simple practice. plow up your area, prepare it good, kill the weeds. Whether it's a machete, a weed cutter, or if you use herbicide, kill the weeds. Allow them to grow.
Before planting, sir.
Yes, kill them again. And you could kill those weeds 2-3 times, and we call that the stale bed technique. So I'm encouraging the farmers here to practice stale bed technique. One very simple stale bed technique, is just spread plastic over the land and the sun. Yeah? And you kill those weeds. But you need, yes, so that's something that I think we can make a change with and use less pesticide, less herbicides on the land to deal with the weeds.
You said one thing which I disagree with.
Yes?
You said about if you have been planting on the soil for a couple of, just say a couple of years, that you have to rest that soil for a year.
It's not necessary,
I disagree.
All right, so I can't stop you from disagreeing with the good Lord.
I will explain why I disagree. But I strongly believe if this is the person, main income, and you say like, okay, you have half an acre, and that's what you're surviving on.
So,
hold on, let me make my point, bro.
No, I cannot allow you to say that I tell you to rest the one piece of land you have.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you divide it up. And you rest. You need that rest. Resting could mean a grass crop,
A change of crop could be a rest.
Right? So you have grass on it. There are areas in Jamaica. A farmer have 1 acre of land and half is used to plant guinea grass. That is used as mulch in the crop that is planted next. And the grass is sold for the same price as the crop. Alright? So start thinking. There are many ways of doing it. If you could collect all the mulch from your neighbor's field and put it into yours, it would be good. But we know it's not sustainable. Alright? So mulching is important. Growing, leaving the land in fallow, grow grass is important. Crop rotation is important. So you don't have to see it as doing nothing. It could be the area where your goats get feed for a whole year. So think about it. But going back to the organic matter, that soil test, and I don't know how long ago one was done here. But it is important to know what are the nutrients that are available in your soil. Yes? And most of the times, we have soils in Jamaica that were at a pH of 7, literally perfect. And suddenly, every crop we fertilize, we add 500 weight per acre. Every crop.
500 what?
Well, the language we used to use then was fertilizer comes in 112 pound bag. So that's 100 weight.
100 weight, yeah.
So we are applying 500 weight per acre for most crops. The danger with that is that the farmer believes that every crop he plants he must apply 500 weight. 500 weight means 500 weight per acre per year, not every crop you plant. So our soils are becoming acidic. And if our soils become acidic, there are certain nutrients. You apply fertilizer until you're sick. And I wouldn't be doubtful if some of those areas is slightly greenish and damp, is because of over-fertilization with the little moisture that is here. And the plant is there, but the roots not going out. You know what the plants are saying? I want the water, but I can't take no more salt. I prefer dead. So the plant is wilting even though the soil is wet, but the roots not going out there. Right? So organic matter. And what the other one I would say to you, you get a bucket like this, you bore holes in the bottom, you fill it with soil, you have a potted plant growing, you dip it in a bigger container with water. You hear all the ear holes are full. You take it out and you see the water run out and you look back at top and you could see the holes going down. If you don't understand anything else, there's a relationship with air and water. If your plants were left for 24 hours covered in water, your roots would die. So it's very important that you understand that. The soil that we see there that is literally green, that needs improved drainage. That water needs to come out. Alright? Whether it's making higher beds, and there's one bed that I felt, you take out the crop, but your fingers can hardly push the rest of the soil there. Because it is so tough. Could be that every time we come and plant a crop on the same bed, without till it over. So that is something that could happen. Or all the organic matter is gone and it's becoming like concrete. So we need to maintain the relationship between air and water. One of the ones I saw in the tomato, I don't know how many of us know this one. Let's pass it around. And if she's having that problem, that tomato is going to grow a nice bush, flower, but hardly have any fruits. That's the Gemini virus. Alright? And that Gemini virus is spread by your white flies. So we need to understand the pests we're dealing with and understand how to deal with them. The other one I'll show you, this is a weed growing on the fence. Everybody know it. What do you call it here? Kokomkuri. We call it seracine in Jamaica. Alright, seracine. So you boil it for belly ache. No, but if you look at it carefully, it's the same symptoms or similar symptoms you'll see on a cucumber or a melon or on your pumpkin. Right?
Because it's the same family.
The same family. And it is growing right there near your field, waiting for you to plant the new crop to get onto it. So you need to look around and know the other crops that are similar to one you have and try and deal with them. The other one I saw on the cucumber, and if these crops are not providing her money, she can't pay the cabbage attention. I don't know how many of us know this one. You see the, you know this one? You don't call it on here, me here now, man?
That's mosaic? Mosaic virus, right?
No, that's not mosaic. We are accustomed to powdery mildew,
I know about that.
but not many of us, you could see the powder on the leaf.
Yes.
This is the other one.
Downy.
This is downy mildew.
Downy.
And it is rough on the crops
Yes.
and really write them off quickly. Right? So all of these things are critical part.
If I may interject at
Yes.
this point, what condition would predispose the plant to that
This
disease?
why we don't have vegetables for Christmas.
I
Ideal temperature,
need
a lot of rainfall, humid damp condition.
I asked that question because I remember planting cucumbers at Plana. It did very well, so well that it encouraged me to plant more. I plant more in a different spot, and this is what I got.
Yeah. So the hot, damp conditions. So trellising help, plant training health, because the plant is up off the ground, getting aeration through it. Because what you want, what is happening, is that once that temperature has moisture, and that is one of the great things about planting in a protected agriculture. Your tomatoes, your fruits inside here, they're not getting wet. So right where the stem joins the fruit, that's where you see start rotting on the tomato, when it's outside. You'll hardly have that if it is protected or it was covered. Because the moisture is not there. Temperature is okay, but moisture is not there. Right? And of course, the kind of crop we plant at different times are very important. So I'll just make those points. The people found this out. If you have the technology to do it, we should not have a structure like that. And we're going inside and practice, open field practice in a protected structure. So the plant is growing, looking good, and we're going to give it 2 ounces of fertilizer. And that's some of the damage. Because the leaf was wet, your hand could have been wet, and some of the plants get damaged in the process. We talk about wetness. The pump was on when I came this morning and the plants were getting water. We need to gradually move over to remove some of the drudgery from agriculture. A timer for $100 could come on and wet in zones 4 different times for the day, just enough that the plant needs to eat at that time, because the excess is wasted. So instead of wetting the place for half an hour, we'd wet it 5 minutes, 4 different times of the day, and the plants will be happy.
Yeah.
And we can set that with a timer. We can set it to run 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. All right? I think I should shut up. I don't have anything else to say, unless you ask questions.
No, there's a simple field test you could do as
Yep.
well. There's a simple field test you can do
Mm-hmm.
where you take the soil and you squeeze it, and if
That's
a
it.
liter of water,
That's exactly what I did there.
yeah, so you do that test
Yeah.
and you would know whether you have enough moisture.
So finish it now, man. You stop off here for.
That's it.
Eh?
And the other thing is, oh, wait.
No, because if you squeeze it up and then you put it to the ground and it don't shell out, it means that it's too much water. All right? And I mean, if your hand is wet, you know that it's too much water. So something else is there that is not good. The roots find it difficult to penetrate that. Once you squeeze it up and drop it,
Supposed to shatter.
yes.
And if it fails to shatter,
And if it is so tough that the roots can't get the food from it, we are in trouble. All right?
The other thing to cover crops. I didn't hear you mention anything about it.
Well, and it's something that used to be practiced in banana fields years ago with kudzu bean. But any coverage for your soil is important. I saw a little field with sweet potatoes. That's good. So that's one of the crops that covers the soil as quick as possible. It's one of the crops we should time to plant near to the hurricane season. In a hurricane, everything above ground gets damaged. Those crops that produce their food underground are safe. But the importance of covering your soil, I mentioned a part of it where, as I said, the farmer plants guinea grass, and that land is mulched completely as soon as he plants. We're not practicing enough of it because we are afraid of slugs. That is the excuse the farmers give. That when they mulch, they have slugs.
Yeah,
But with we could call it another male technique that is very effective. If you put some beer, just leave a little beer in a bottle and put it around the corners in the field, the slugs go inside here and drown and die. And since women will tell you that beer tastes like donkey urine, don't know how they know, but some urine in a dark bottle would also get rid of the slugs. Something to think about.
But to me, I try that one thing.
Food safety though is critical. So we have to be careful how we have human excreta, animal excreta, even composting. If we apply it dry, we are better off. Some of us are getting excited about compost tea. Some of us getting back manure and other things. But that material, unless it reaches a certain temperature, the bad organisms are not dead. Every now and then you hear they recall vegetables because 1 or 2 people die from eating vegetables where they had E. coli and other organisms. So we need to be conscious of those things. And if we make compost, we should make sure that it reaches that critical temperature before we can use that material. But one compost that nearly escapes all of that and is very, very good, we're not paying enough attention again, is using vermicomposting, where we use the worms with the animal waste and the plant waste and they break it down. That material could make good compost tea and very, very useful.
Does anybody here know where I can get a large amount of wood?
Well, boss, you can create your own homes.
If you weren't
You can do your own homes.
if you weren't too far, I tell you you could get a dozen for $300 in Jamaica.
Say again?
You can get a dozen, but
Doesn't for it?
They will
Check-
not allow the worms.
check with Cardi here if they're doing any
They will
vermicompost.
not allow the worms to come in.
No, I said check with Cardi if they're doing any vermicomposting here.
Yeah, we
That's why
tried a
you
little bit of
every time you plant it, you
vermicomposting.
use a
One of the things
different
that attract
set
the
of
worms,
manure. Today you use a grass. Tomorrow,
the
the
cow
next time you
manure,
plant, you
Yes.
so you can get under it, and then you can get some worms there.
Yeah.
Cow manure.
Sorry, somebody has a question about the
The
worms.
red money, the red worms.
Yeah?
So rather than that,
yeah,
why
we had
not
a